Tim. Welcome back to Watchbox. We survived the week and the weekend beckons. But tonight, I'm here with Justin Mastine Frost, writer extraordinaire, influencer, tastemaker, and watch connoisseur. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks. That's more of a grand introduction than I was expecting, but the kind words are appreciated.
That's Watchbox standard right here. Welcome, guys. Far-flung, those getting up early, those staying up late. I particularly appreciate your presence. Live in the chat box, I can see already Eddie Landsberg, as he so often is, first, and Bruno from Denmark is second. Welcome, guys. Tonight we've got a great program, and of course, remember, thewatchbox.com is the place where the fun continues. New watches posted daily, in fact, hourly. Buy, trade, and sell. The easiest way to do each one, thewatchbox.com, 24 hours a day. Okay, wrist shots and a confession. We have a borrowed timepiece on the table tonight. Justin, show my macro camera right there what you got.
It's the Cartier Drive to Cartier extra flat in steel. In for review. This is something I'm going to be putting together for Time and Tide out of Australia. I'm sure most of our viewers are probably familiar with those guys.
Open a separate window, guys. Stay with us.
Yeah, exactly. No running away just yet. Really liking it so far, I gotta say. You know, wears really great. The fact that it's so slim, and the price is brilliant.
You're getting Cartier style, a Piaget caliber, and arguably you're just paying for the content. You're no longer paying for the precious metal because this one's stainless steel.
Yeah, exactly.
Stunning piece. Let me ask you, how much longer do you have it?
This goes back in a week, unfortunately. It's a quick visit, but... So
now let me ask you, date or marry long term? What's your verdict?
Oh, it's a little early to be making the call. It's at a solely personal level, probably date. This is a little bit more formal, a little bit more dressy than my usual rotation.
Okay.
But from a dollar, if I was someone that, you know, I was a 9 to 5 in a suit all day long and was looking for something that kind of ticked all those boxes, it could be a marry.
It's a rare case of a guy who wants to date the sober and stolid one and marry the crazy one.
Hey, I mean...
Fair enough.
Fair, yeah.
Okay. Well, we all have our standards, that said. My daily life's a little bit, I'd say, between the two poles, as I'm wearing a watch that's definitely large at 44, definitely extravagant. It is a pusherless chronograph. You guys know my Amvox too. The legacy of a great and long-standing partnership, 2004 to 2014, between JLC and Aston Martin. Of course, the watch is designed to look like an old Jaeger tachometer or speedometer or dashboard clock. So there's some authentic history here, but this particular chapter has closed, and tonight we're going to talk about JLC's new flame. They have found a new watch partner. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay. First, guys, let's play this or that. It's an interactive feature. I'm actually going to post the link right now into the chat box. So if you're following us and you have the live chat functionality, here's the link. You guys are going to choose between these two watches, just as Justin does. And it's a this or that viewer decision. Icons collide tonight. The Omega Speedmaster Professional. You're going to tell me which one you want. You too. Versus the Breitling Navitimer Heritage. Okay, so you've seen them both. Let's start with the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. Justin, this is what you potentially could get. 42 millimeters stainless steel, thermoplastic crystal, still issued by NASA, which many people believe to be cool.
Yeah.
Also, a display case back in this particular variant gives you the ability to see the caliber 1863 Lemania-based cam-operated manual wind chronograph, and it comes with a badass boxed set. This is not deniable. Separate strap tools, themed box, and 6150 US is shown. What are your thoughts on the Moonwatch?
You know what? And people are going to hate me for this. I know this is coming, but I've never been a speedy guy. And I absolutely love the history. I love how reliable they are. I love, you know, some people love owning an icon. To me, it's like I've seen them everywhere. The novelty is worn off. So, yeah. You
just showed me pictures of a Speedmaster you are considering. So tell me why you like it and how it's different from this one.
Yeah, we were talking about the Speedmaster Split, an odd duck that came out in '99, lasted until 2001. It's just that right shade of weird, for one. Okay. It's kind of, the case is a hybrid of the classic Speedy case and kind of the X33, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, very much, very much. It's not an X33 case, guys. That's a myth, but it looks damn like it.
Yeah, exactly. The big thing for me is the fact that, you know, here's a still, to me, really cool-looking split for a bargain basement price. Like, these things trade hands under $4,000, and good luck finding another split that's even remotely presentable in that price range, other than going, something obscure vintage, or there's a Breitling of, I believe, the similar era, but is that very, 80s, 90s, two-tone Breitling, weird.
There
it's
is,
not
I
a pretty
believe
watch.
there is a Frédéric Piguet Breitling kicking around from the 90s that's available, but that's a special series. All of that said, guys, we're not done here, because you've already picked a third watch, and I haven't even given you the second watch. So let's take a look at our second option tonight. By the way, guys, vote. The link is in the chat box. Okay. Head-to-head against the Breitling Navitimer Heritage. Also 42 millimeters in stainless steel, so it's a nice wearable size. This one does feature a sapphire crystal because, hey, we're not beholden to the requirements of NASA and anti-shatter capability. Plus, this one channels the early 806 as precisely as Breitling can, given that they have a Valjoux 7750 inside the thing, and the register arrangement is a little bit off, but it's lovable all the same. Features the legendary circular slide rule flight calculator. Yes, it's easy to use, and yes, you can learn it in 5 minutes. Check out my Watchbox Reviews channel to find out how. And finally, yes, caliber 13 to a Valjoux 7750, but it gives you automatic winding and a chronometer certificate that the Omega does not. Plus, at $6,015, you do save a little bit of change here. Now, okay, I know what you really want, but given these two options, which one would you take home?
If it was, have to make a decision on one or the other, it would be the Navitimer. Still doesn't entirely speak to me at a personal level. It's it's the Navitimer. It's a very busy watch, and you either kind of love it or hate it. But yeah, if it was Speedy versus Navitimer, especially considering it is the 42 and not one of the bigger ones that they've released over the years, I could get down with that.
Okay, so it sounds like if you want the tried and true icon, you want the Speedmaster, and if you want to get busy with your watch, you want the Navitimer. He wants neither. I would take the Navitimer. Personally, I know how to use this bezel, so it's kind of fun. Plus, you've got a watch that's maybe a little bit more wearable on a daily basis, even though it is incrementally less water resistant at 3 ATM versus 5 for the Omega. All of that said, guys, can we throw up the poll so far and see which one of these is ahead? Honestly, I can't possibly guess.
That's a tough one.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, I mean, Speedy fans are everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, wow. You guys are coming out strong for the Speedmaster. I'll say this. I'm a traditional Navitimer guy, and can we both agree on this? This is the Navitimer we would rather own over the current Navitimer 8 novelty?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we're unanimous. A united front on the one point that really matters.
Yeah.
All right, so now note to our Asia Pacific viewers tonight, we do have an office in Hong Kong. Watchbox Hong Kong is a destination in the watch mecca of the world. Go there to buy, trade, and sell. Visit my friends Josh and Zoe. They're out there. We are full-time on both sides, about 12 hours removed from each other. So if you can't make it to Philadelphia, by all means, visit us in Hong Kong. Watchbox Hong Kong, check it out. All right, stay with me when the broadcast ends at Tim_Masso on Instagram. Justin, I'm guessing, shot in the dark, but you've got an Instagram account, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. What would that be for our viewers?
That's Justin M. Frost. So it actually used to be J. Mastine F, but to be frank, I got tired of spelling it to people. And once the algorithm shifted that you didn't lose all the followers when you changed your Instagram handle, I just migrated over.
I'm lucky. I'm still on my first Instagram handle, so check out Tim_Masso. I've got a new JLC posted. It's a mystery machine. You'll find out the answer tomorrow, but I've got the case back posted tonight, so definitely sign up and find out. Okay, viewer wrist shots. Justin, this is a feature we do with our viewers where they send in their watches, and we show their watches on our screen. So let's start. Nice. Nadav S. of Israel joins us from behind the wheel of his Audi A7, a man of exquisite tastes, green watches and Audi cars. Man after my own heart in the Mediterranean. I'm genuinely jealous of your weather right now, and the fact that this year's Giro d'Italia Tour of Italy bike race is actually starting in Israel. So I'd say I'm probably jealous of the weather, the watch, the car, and the bike race. This is a man who's got it all going on. Conrad M. sports a sweet sweater, appropriate for our winter weather here in Philadelphia, and a Jaeger LeCoultre Master Compressor Dual-Matic Dual Time.
Very nice.
That really is.
Yeah.
And look at, he's got it on the bracelet. You never see that.
Yeah, that's not exactly a common combo.
The toughest of the master compressors with the great Auto Tractor automatic caliber. Congratulations, Conrad. That is an epic watch. Now you just need to have the Israeli weather, the bike tour of Italy, and the Audi, and you're almost there. Yeah. All right, Russell K. enjoys his machines large and small, giving us a shout out from not behind the wheel, but near the wheels of his Porsche 911 with his Ulysse Nardin Marine 150th anniversary. This one we've got in platinum, one of only 3 made, so an exquisite car and an absolute grail of a watch. When you've got one of 3, that's basically a piece unique.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, even if you're in one of the biggest, yeah, and even if you're in one of the biggest like watch meccas of the world, like the odds of you crossing paths with another.
I would bet at the Ulysse Nardin service department in Loloc, they've never seen 2 at once.
Yeah, that would be fair.
So congrats, Russell, but all the same, I'm epically jealous of a longtime customer and friend of the show. Amintas N was smart to buy this Roger Dubuis Hommage 40 by Retrograde Perpetual Calendar Chronograph back before original 90s Dubuis was a thing. I would say the window for buying these cheap has already closed.
Yeah, that's probably fair. It's funny, we were just digging through the Govberg archives earlier today, and there's the other, I forget the move, but the that kind of tonneau-cased, or more kind of almost squarish case, tiny retrograde.
Yeah, the sympathy case.
Yeah, yeah.
And the cool thing about this watch is, we sold this to Amintas back when we were Watch You Want, and we were in Florida. So I guess this one has a history with us. Glad to see it's enjoyed a long-term home with a wonderful connoisseur. Remember, send to mondaymailbag@thewatchbox.com if you want to see your watch on my screen and my screen within a screen. All right. Comment below if you're watching this recorded, and subscribe if you are not already. Justin, we've got new watches. Guys, ask us questions, because Justin and I are following the live chat, and this is an interactive program. Okay, Aeolus 1982 from Germany, JBO Surf joining us from, I believe, Australia. Edward Ledden from Sweden. All right. Bum, 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 bum. I can see Eric S. saying, I ride my bike to work, Tim. Is this safe to do with an ETA 2824 in my Black Bay? What's your take on that, riding a bike wearing a Tudor?
Well, I did it quite a bit during the 2 years that I was still based in New York. And any day that I wore my Black Bay and hopped on a city bike and cruised a few miles each way, yeah.
And that, you see, that's in the presence of true danger. Not just the New York City cabs, but the ultimate menace, New York City bike messengers.
Yeah, those are ones to watch for.
I would say ride while wearing it, but don't crash while wearing it. I did that with a 2892.
Did it survive?
It did. It did a lot better than the rest of me, actually.
Fair enough.
I chipped the sapphire on my Bond Seamaster in a crash, and I had bone showing through the wrist. The watch was running fine. I think it lost a minute that day. I'm not joking. Okay, so great stuff, guys. Ask the questions, and Robert Dixon from Scotland chiming in. Take anything you can afford to trash, lose on a bike ride. I actually agree with that, too. And if you can afford to trash a grand complication, let her rip.
Fair. I mean, I don't know, should I even say this? Yeah, no, there's been a few times doing, having review units out and, commuting to and from.
Oh, the traveling collections from the brands. I've seen these. Horrible thing, guys.
Well, there was certainly at least one wrist shot of a RM1103 Jean Todt over the handlebars of a city bike at one point in time.
Speaking of the RM11, new watches. New watches for the week that was. Okay, we're opening up with the Richard Mille RM1103 Mclaren. Justin, hold your fire. I know it's coming. A limited edition of 500 pieces intended for owners of the Mclaren Senna supercar and generally owners of the Ultimate Series. I suppose a P1 owner could put in for this one. Features McLaren's traditional racing orange, which I like, but as you can see from that McLaren 2018 Formula One contender, it's a different orange. That's the first problem we spot tonight. Okay, launched at the Geneva Auto Show alongside the Senna GTR Track Special, which actually makes a lot more sense as a pastiche of orange and carbon fiber. This one is 49.9 millimeters lug to lug, about 44.5 across, and a chunky 16 thick. But here's the thing, black and orange TPT carbon case, and a second, there you go, okay. Tony the Tiger coming up, Justin. Hold your fire, hold your fire. You can also get it with the secondary orange rubber strap, and while I do feel this enhances the look, it's a bit more coherent. You're already so far over the top that we're beyond return. Now, the caliber RMA-C3 is interesting. Automatic, titanium bridges, titanium plates, skeletonized, variable inertia rotor, free sprung. It is an annual calendar, it is a flyback chronograph, and yes, it is a Vaucher base with a DD module, and we can't get away from that fact. All of that said, you're going to pay $191,500 US for this monster machine. Best Industry Insight of the Week, posted on Watch Pro site by member Brandon1. Brandon, I'm giving you the first cues. Justin's going to pick up where you leave off. He says, this feels like peak Richard Mille. My opinions only. The Vaucher base plus the DD module fails to deliver on the exotic promise of the ARM brand. I understand the cases are made of unusual materials, but you have to draw the line somewhere. This is a supercar without the horsepower. He believes ARM has lost the soul of an independent brand with these countless marketing tie-ins with other brands and celebrities. And while he would normally self-censor a bit in terms of critiquing a watch like this, he said, we just had a thread on Watch Pro site, and we did, it's in the independent section, on a new Frodsham watch which offers something genuinely unique in the realm of wristwatches and took real courage and ability to produce. Okay, your thoughts on the McLaren Senna. What went right, what went wrong? What's your conclusion?
I mean, you know what? You kind of hinted at it already. It's like Tony the Tiger called, he wants his stripes back. The color palette I can't really get behind to begin with. It's not as bad as, and I can't remember if it was a Nadal piece, the one that was jokingly called the Ronald McDonald watch by a number of people.
Oh, okay.
The red, yellow, and orange kind of.
Yeah. I think
this isn't as bad.
This is Tiger Mart at your local ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
That Tiger, not even Tony.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that they couldn't even match the orange drives me up a wall. I mean, that might not bug everybody, and it is, the cases are really cool. I do love what he's doing with the whole TPT thing. It has some, I mean, the brand is still doing gangbuster business, and they will continue to. These will fly off the shelf. Well, I mean, if they actually land on the shelf, which they won't, because people will be waiting for, I'm kind of tired of the caliber by now, is the other part of the equation. So it's a bit of a miss for me across the board.
I would say this. I like the idea of a carbon case that you can't scratch. That's cool. Yeah. I like the idea of a hardcore sports watch that's got beater toughness. And on that basis, the DD Vaucher hybrid movement, which is modular, yes, makes sense. All of that said, think of the heavy metal you can pick up for almost 200 grand. You could get a Langa triple split in white gold and have enough left over to buy an RM16 new.
That's hard to argue. That's math that's hard to argue with.
Yeah.
It's...
Okay, so here's my take right here. The McLaren Senna. Look at the McLaren Senna. Now, this is a weird-looking car, and it's been controversial, but it's purposeful. All of those tucks and flares and vents and diffusers actually make it faster. So on that basis, justifiable. Look at the Senna GTR that just came out in Geneva. It's everything that I mentioned, only more so, and not street legal. Ultimately, this new RM looks like a Custos, or a Kvustos, or a Custos. This predates the RM1103. This already existed when that watch came out. So RM, I'm not saying you're wrong, but knowing this already existed, you did it anyway.
Yeah, you know, I'll give that one to you. That's a harsh one. That's a harsh card to play, but fair enough. I mean, the flip side of it is like the criticisms about that brand in general and who took homage from whom is a bigger point of debate, I would think.
And here's the problem with the RM looking like a pre-existing Custos. Once you start to look like a parody of yourself, congratulations, you're the ill-fated second coming of Jay Leno on The Tonight Show. And maybe RM's okay with that. I mean, that's an automotive-themed association. I'm just not sure it's the right one.
I mean, I think so long as his watches are selling, he's not going to be too pissed.
I will say 500 pieces for a watch brand that makes $3,500 a year, that's a chunk of the annual output. So I wonder how many of these are going to be bled out over the next few years.
500 orange watches seems like a lot, even for him.
My advice to you is if you've already got your RM5003 McLaren split-second tourbillon, stick with that one.
Yeah, I don't think you can beat that. Yeah.
Okay, quick question. Do you have a favorite Richard Mille? Let's show some love to these guys, because I don't hate the brand. I'm just not thrilled with the watch.
That's a tough one. I actually really did. I brought up earlier the Jean Todt.
Yeah.
On the list of like the quartz TPT cases, that blue is just. I mean, it's loud and obnoxious as shit. But I mean, we've known each other long enough, you know my taste on bright colors. So I kind of dig that whole series. So now, because I'm trying to remember, there was the 1103, there was the Sapphire case, and then I can't remember what the third one was.
For my sake, I'm going to say that because it's weird and I'm weird, I like the original RM53 Pablo McDonough because its titanium skull, tungsten carbide skull is almost as thick as mine.
That's a good pick. I'll give you that.
Plus, it's got my googly eyes. You look at the glasses on my head, you look at the original Pablo McDonough, it's seamless. It's uncanny. It's basically my twin in watch form. All right, guys. So I can see Mitchell Sharman saying, I don't have a problem with the RM. It would look right at home on the driver when driving that car. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't get a lot of wrist time. I can see Clive Minotaur saying, I would rather wear an AC3 date watch than wear that RM. And Brick Lane is saying, an ultra-thin RM like an RM16 or an RM67 is okay. And Aeolus 1982 out of Germany, sticking with us into the night from Europe. He is saying a Custos is more like an $8,000 watch. And JVO Surf, Leno killed a polar bear for his toupee. Off topic. That's out of bounds, but you're right.
Leave Leno alone.
Fair enough. He's a consummate car guy, so he gets a pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, another new watch from a brand I think we can both agree is very cool. The Arnold & Son Globetrotter. All right, a world-time watch from folks known by few but loved by those who do. Cue the heart candies right there, guys. And this is who Arnold & Son is. They are owned by the larger Citizen Group. Within Citizen Group of Japan, they are the Swiss movement manufacture brand associated with La Joux-Perret. So La Joux-Perret makes great movements, but they can't just sell calibers to customers. They wanted to have a brand of their own. So Arnold & Son is that brand. So this is a consummate manufacturer with a brand of its own, and Arnold & Son is the brand. Now, 45 millimeters round by 17 thick in stainless steel. There's a reason it's so thick, and you can see that reason right there. It has a three-dimensional dial that features an enormous vaulted bridge for what amounts to a giant convex mnemonic projection chart. You have to learn some geography to read this world time watch, guys, but it's worth it. A sapphire 24-hour disc orbits the globe, sandblasted land masses, and a beautiful blue lacquered set of water bodies gives this one richness and luster and attention to detail such that you'll want to enjoy both sides with a loop. Moreover, it has the exquisite caliber 6022 automatic with blackened bridges, Côte de Soleil sunburst Côte de Genève, hand-beveled edges, black polished screws, 45-hour power reserve. This is an awesome piece. And again, while I can see some obscurity issues trying to tell the time with that three-dimensional dial because of the bridge, I like this watch for 14,900 Swiss francs.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Price-wise, it's quite smart. And I mean, I'm one of those ones in the camp of I've been a fan of the brand for quite some time. I'm still disappointed that Sébastien Chalmontet is no longer their head of movement design and innovation. From what I recall, this was something that he already had more or less canned before his departure last year.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, the price is right. It's weird. It's funky. It's certainly not your utility world timer. Like, this isn't the piece that you're buying. Like, oh, I really need to be able to just glance down and know what time it is in Beijing right now. But that said, as a comparison point, I remember looking at the Mont Blanc Geosphere at SIHH this year. And it has this similar setup, except the subdials are so small with the world map on it.
It's like the size of your thumb.
Yeah, like I don't know how anyone's reading that one, but yeah. So I mean, this is still livable.
I would say the closest thing you could compare this to would be last model year's Jaeger-LeCoultre Geophysic Tourbillon. If you remember the convex lacquered, combination lacquered and brushed metallic like dome dial of that one. This is that, but for about 1/10 of the price and with a much more wearable proportion on the wrist and not like platinum, which I actually like. This is a great
wrist
piece.
brick.
It is a wrist brick, and it's a very top-heavy wrist brick too, because the clasp doesn't really counterweigh it. So let me ask you, Sebastian's now with Solida. Can we expect good things from them now?
I mean, I assume so, and I hope so. It seemed like a weird fit when I first heard that that's where he was going, but I mean, if you take, I mean, here's a guy who, at Arnold & Son, every time he approached a watch, he would start over with caliber design from zero. Like, you know, the balance would be somewhere else, the mainspring, it would just be this, you know, completely inefficient but really cool way of building a range of calibers. If he can take that kind of mentality to a place like Solida, and actually play around and not just be building, basic stuff, but building stuff that's genuinely interesting but can still be approachable price-wise, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, that's interesting because he's best known for high horology complications, and now he's going to Solida, which is known for making possibly the third most desirable ETA knockoff on the market. So this will be an interesting evolution, but what Arnold & Son is still doing, I love.
Yeah.
Also, I can see Todd Piasecki saying, full screenshots, please. We're having a problem with our full screen tonight, and that was specifically conveyed to me before the show. Please forgive us. We know there's an issue there. Also, right here, I can see Z1 Breach is saying that Arnold & Son is so underrated, and Top Secret Vid saying that Arnold & Son is pretty killer. Now, that is a conversation piece. True, and I feel like you get a lot more visual impact and beauty in this than that Richard Mille for, I mean, let's face it, over 10 times the price.
Yeah. I mean, that's the great thing, like, again, with like everything that they've done, like the visual appeal, the level of finishing, like what Arnold & Son has been delivering from a value standpoint. I mean, there's a reason I went out and bought a Nebula. I saw it at Basel in 2015 when it launched, if I'm not mistaken. Fell over backwards where like one day I need to own this. And every time I would see it from that point, not that I saw them everywhere because they're still fairly niche, but when I did, I'm like, still need to have it, and then finally pulled the trigger early this year.
They also make the Angelus Tourbillon series. If you're going to Google this one, open another window, stay with us, and check that out. Angelus U10. Also check out their CTB chronograph from Arnold & Son. Check out the Golden Wheel because they're both killer. All right, so industry news. We get back into the realm of controversy. Guys, keep asking your question because Justin and I are both following. We've got 3 sets of eyes, so we shouldn't miss anything tonight. All right, industry news and commentary. We teased this earlier. Tag Heuer becomes the official luxury watch partner of Aston Martin. This follows 10 years of the Amvox series, but nothing since 2014. Oddly, there was a Richard Mille announcement that they would actually be the new movement partner for Aston Martin a year ago. Nothing came of that.
Oops.
Yeah, so I don't know where that went. Oh well, they've made their bed with McLaren. Jean-Claude Biver was present at the Geneva Auto Show just the other day to present and proclaim Tag as the, this is their language, not mine, the official partner, official watch partner, and, clench your teeth here, the official connected watch partner of Aston Martin. 2 new models coming out to debut with this agreement. The Carrera Heuer 01 Aston Martin, which is 45 millimeters in stainless steel. It's using their Heuer 01 in-house chronograph caliber. And the Formula 1 chronograph Aston Martin, which has the right kind of yellow-green highlights, but this is a quartz 43 millimeter steel timepiece. Now, this deal also includes sponsorship of Aston Martin Racing, which I love because it means the factory's going back to racing in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the World Endurance Championship. Hopefully we're going to see them stateside at like Sebring or Petit Le Mans, maybe Watkins Glen. These are special editions, not limited editions. We don't know what the pricing will be like, but we do know that the standard version of the Carrera Heuer 01 is about a $5,300 watch, and the Formula 1 chronograph on which this Aston Martin is based is about a $1,550 US watch. Okay, so who wins here? What do we think? And are the brands a good match?
Who wins here? I mean, if it means Aston's going racing again, I mean, I'll give them that. I don't think, and in the same breath, I don't think anyone wins here. The quartz chronograph with Aston Martin on it just feels all shades of wrong to me.
Okay.
I don't see the parallel between the 2 brands. I mean, Aston doesn't play in the entry segment. I mean, yeah, sure, they did the V8 Vantage just to get a hair below the $100,000 mark. Yeah,
it was a hair below the $100,000 mark like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not their market, and it's not, I don't know, it just feels, it's much in the same way of LVMH playing the game with Zenith and Range Rover. That didn't make sense. This makes equally little sense to me.
I would say this. Let's wait for their next act. I will say this Formula 1 chronograph is easily the most desirable version of the Tag Heuer Formula 1 chronograph. So it's got that going for it. I like this.
Fair.
Nice, fairly priced. If ever there were a cause to bring back the V4 Monaco belt-driven watch, this partnership is it. This is an opportunity to get back on the wagon for Tag Heuer.
I'll give you that, and if that comes to fruition, I will eat my words all day long. Like, I would love to see that watch come back. So
if you're going to Le Mans 2, you may want to consider bringing back the Caliber 360. It was sensational as a Tag Heuer. I like it as a Zenith, but I would like it better as an Aston Martin watch. Okay. Again, open another window if you want to look these up. Okay, guys. So now, I think realistically, Tag Heuer wins here. Because Tag Heuer would be, in terms of market stratum, this is like your Camaro SS of wristwatches. It's more than anyone needs, so it's a luxury product. It's not necessarily high horology. Aston Martin and JLC were a great match, and they produced great things. Aston Martin and Richard Mille even would have made sense. This is a deal that hopefully gives Aston the money it needs to go racing, because it has parsimonious private equity ownership, and you know it's always difficult to justify a racing campaign when the folks are bean counters for a living. So I like that. That helps Aston Martin, and that helps Aston fans. Ultimately, I do think Tag gets more out of this, but TBD, to be determined.
I was also just thinking, what could be interesting of this partnership is, on the connected watch side of things, what level of things that they could get up to as far as functionality that's specific watch to car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Telematics.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, the same way, like, you know, the Ambox by the, what was it, Ambox?
The transponder.
Yeah, once they got into the transponder stuff. Or like, I don't know, if they do something really cool in terms of functionality playing on the connected side, it's like, okay, that would make me feel a bit better about it.
Yeah, if Aston ever does a fully autonomous car and you can summon your car Knight Rider style with your Tag Heuer connected, okay, then I'm on board. Then I'm on board.
BMW and their whole, like, you can swipe the top of the key to let your car, like, pull itself out of the garage.
Okay.
And something playing in that same vein for the Aston off of the watch, that would be pretty rad.
And that would also give them the edge up over the likes of Samsung, Google, and the Apple Watch. I mean, they would finally have something that they could genuinely say is super cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, honestly, because Tag Heuer is a mass market brand, I would not be shocked if your Aston watch could also communicate with your Chevrolet MyLink. So that's also to be determined.
Well, yeah, we'll avoid that topic.
Okay, and a quick interregnum between our discussion of two major branding deals, but let's talk about the poll results. Guys, let me know what the poll results are between our Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch and the Breitling Navitimer Heritage.
I wouldn't say leveling out, but it's creeping back a little.
Okay, I'm a Navitimer guy here, just for the record. I like the Navi. It works for me. That said, let's go to the realm of IWC and Schaffhausen. In other news, IWC to offer Santoni leather accessories. Take that, Mont Blanc. Italian leather house Santoni gains a new distributor in IWC. After rolling out Santoni leather straps across its range from 2014 to 2017, if we can't do the full screen, guys, let's not try, but is expanding into the leather accessories segment. A shot across the bow of Hermes Mont Blanc and the Berluti Hublot partnership right now. Though the ultimate impact is uncertain, calfskin in 9 colors. The accessories included will be credit card holders, belts, bracelets, bags, and wallets for men and women. They will be sold from 6 select IWC boutiques around the world, and at last, you can finally tell your significant other in good conscience that you're going to a strap-on leather store with your buddies.
Really?
Santoni straps and IWC, a match made in leather heaven. Okay, what do you think? Does this make sense?
This does. You know what? I mean, Santoni does make fantastic leather product, and to have like the client's the same client. Like, the end of the day, the walk-in, or maybe not necessarily the hardcore watch nerd, some of the hardcore watch nerds for sure, but even like your general walk-in, hey, I'm in the market for my first or second luxury watch, it's going to probably be the same kind of guy that's not afraid to shell out a bit of extra coin for some really high-quality leather goods. Yeah, this totally makes sense to me.
You know what? It makes most sense on the basis that this could bring people into the boutique who may wind up buying a watch. Like, I see this as a hook. There's a threshold issue. It's difficult when your least expensive watch, your IWC, is just under $4,000, your least expensive watch. Not everyone is ready to make that leap, but once you bring them in to take a look at a wallet or a credit card holder, you get the foot in the door, as psychologists like to say, and suddenly they're looking at the watches, they're putting them on the wrist. All of a sudden, you don't have to sell that wallet to make a big sale. You've got someone buying a Mark 18. Congratulations. I think it makes sense on that basis.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'd be curious to see where else this goes with other brands. I mean, because I've been trying to remember the name of it, but JLC's been working with...
oh yeah, Casafagliano.
Thank you. That's the name I've been hunting for probably a week now, actually. But I can see that working just as well in regards to that relationship, doing something similar. I'm surprised Hublot hasn't pushed further on the Berluti partnership, or at least, I mean, maybe they've tried and Berluti didn't want to play along, which I wouldn't blame them.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
And Hublot just has so much going on, it's hard to keep track of it.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Yeah.
Italia Independent, Berluti, Hublot Ferrari. After that, my head starts to hurt, but trust me, Hublot's got more. If you're ready for it, Hublot's got more. The good news is, now, so does IWC. All right, now I can see some comments coming through. Horology Homie saying, Aston Martin and Richard Mille, that would have resulted in a watch more expensive than the cars. Point of fact, the RM5003 split-second tourbillon from McLaren is $980,000. So unless you're buying the Ultimate Series, true fact, that's more expensive than a McLaren car. JLC and Aston did work fantastically, says Edward Ledden of Sweden. And I could see right here, Todd Piasecki just saying, off topic, but Grand Seiko is as sexy. I can't even repeat that. Congratulations, man. You've exceeded the threshold of YouTube. You've surpassed the what it is, the tolerances of the internet. Congratulations. And of course, we have friends saying, Tim, regarding Speedies, this is from Chavo8891. Is it worth having limited anniversary editions for the Apollo missions? Like, is it worth paying more for a missions Speedmaster?
You know, I'm not the best person to speak to that because you know my stance on Speedies in general.
Okay.
But I mean,
if you got one that everyone doesn't have, does that help?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if it depends on what the margin is between the two. I mean, if you're talking a nominal amount more for, it's got a little bit more cachet. It'll be, I mean, I don't know. Speedies totally aren't my realm. So like, you know, how limited is it actually? Is the other part of the equation.
For me, the one to own is the first Omega in Space, the numbered edition from 2012, numbered but not limited. That's a handsome watch that gives you almost all of the cachet you get from a vintage-inspired Speedy, but they trade at a fraction of what you'll pay for something like a Speedy Tuesday Project Alaska 3 Tribute. So I like that. The FOIS, the FOIS, first Omega in Space from 2012. And right here, best article of the week. Okay. Watches by SJX, you know this guy, and link in the description for those of you watching this recorded, but ringing in the changes, explaining the Grubel Forsey Grand Sonnery by SJX of watchesbysjx.com. It's a 10-minute pleasure cruise through the world of Grubel Forsey. So why did this $1.2 million watch require 11 years to develop? Well, read and find out. Now, a true insider's perspective from first-hand handling of the boutique juggernaut Grubel Forsey's most expensive and complicated standard watch. This is a wonderful write-up from the handling of the watch and an interview with Stephen Forsey that features Forsey's own insights into the production process. It includes superb photography, background, history, context, everything you could want short of actually trying the watch on the wrist. This is a watch with 11 safeties, a grande and petite sonnerie, a minute repeater, 2 power reserves with automatic winding for the sonnerie. It even has a 24-second tourbillon. Does this watch have it all? Pretty much, and it has it all in a 43.5mm titanium case. This is the rarest class of complications as described by a master, as produced by a master. Justin, have you seen this watch?
I have, yeah. I mean, it's something else. It's absolutely something else to see in person. I mean, first off, it's shot on account of the titanium case. Even though it seems like it's chunky, it is quite light. And, I mean, the sound of that repeater is just... I'm like almost at a loss for words. Like it is really just one of the, if you get the opportunity to get anywhere near it.
It's a cathedral gong repeater too. It's a cathedral gong minute repeater on top of all that in titanium.
Yeah. No. If you get the chance to get anywhere near that watch, take it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're wondering, should I buy Super Watch X, Y, or Z? You need to really reconsider that decision. If you have the kind of financial firepower to buy this, this needs to be at the top of your list. Try before you buy, because I have a feeling you'll buy with more enthusiasm after seeing it in person.
Well, this actually opens up the question. We keep referencing that McLaren piece.
Yeah, price parity.
Dollars to dollars, Grubel all day long.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'll say this, the RMs are nicely made at the top of the tech tree. The $1 million Richard Mille is everything you dream of and more. What it's not necessarily is artisanally beautiful. The finish is good. This is the best in the world. There's no debate. This is the best in the world.
Yeah, we're not going to argue that one.
Yeah. And there's a lot of it because it's a very complicated watch.
Yeah.
All right. And Alan Tudor joining us. Hello from Romania. And Mitchell Sharman saying that Grubel article was so good, he's read it, recommending it to our viewers around the world. Justin, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I know you got a flight to catch.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Okay, Justin will be back. Before you leave, Grail Watch and Dream Car, because you're into both.
Oh, God, you should have prepped me for this one.
You got to shoot from the hip here.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Car... It's a little obscure, and it's something that like if it's not being driven all the time.
Okay.
Lancia Stratos.
That's obscure. All right.
Yeah.
A little car you might have heard of with a Dino engine and a rally history.
And the weirdest body shape on. It's a little doorstoppy, but in a good way.
Cheese wedge.
Yeah, exactly. Single watch is always a hard one for me. Why have one? I mean. Damn it.
Why have one when you can have three? Reverso triptyque. Go for it, man. Crazy watch. Go for it.
You know what? Your work, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. The UR110.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go, man. Dream car and Grail watch. Heard it here from Justin Mastine Frost. Guys, Justin's got to fly. He will be back. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Remember, if you're watching this, and it's recorded, comment in the description below, subscribe, check out our Hong Kong office, and above all, if I can recommend just one thing, follow Tim_Moss on Instagram. Thank you so much, guys. Au revoir. I'm Watchbox. He's Justin, and thanks for logging on.